Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube. This is really weird, but I decided to make a video over here because normally I make like short videos. Well, I done two, but I was gonna make a short video on my Instagram, kind of talking about my journey and my testimony. But I figured that video would be a little bit longer, so I switched over to YouTube. So hello, welcome. Yeah, this video has been kind of like a long time coming for me. I kind of feel like I've been wanting to share my testimony and my journey as a Gen Z Christian, as I say, and how I got to like where I am now. I've been seeing a lot of like, I wouldn't call them signs, but I've been seeing a lot of like share your testimony like videos and how important it is to share what God is doing in our lives so other people know about his love. So I just felt like, I should do this because someone out there could really benefit from like hearing about my journey, and maybe it's similar to theirs. So just a few like facts about me. My name is Kelsee Nicole. I am 25. I live in St. Louis, Missouri, and I already mentioned it, but I am a Christian, a Gen Z Christian. And yeah, I just kind of want to share how I got here because I was not always into my faith. And there's a lot that goes into that, but yeah, so here we go. At an early age, I was baptized very young. I don't know if it was very young. I probably was like 5. I knew growing up what like going to church was. I knew who God was. My mom raised us on these like foundations of like being a Christian. I would say they were very surface level. Throughout my whole life, everything was very surface level for me, like being a surface level Christian. Yeah, I knew who God was. I was baptized at about 5 years of age. I'm actually gonna ask my mom because I don't know if that's accurate, but I'm pretty sure around that age is when I was baptized. We grew up going to church every Sunday. My mom would wake me and my sister and my dad up, and we'd go to church every Sunday. We'd go to early service, so it was like at 7 a.m. and we would have to wake up at like 6 a.m. to go. She would wake us up, we'd go to church, and then after church, we just went on doing whatever we had to do for the rest of the weekend. I never had like an urge to like read the Bible for myself. I never had the urge to get deeper into my faith. It was all like what I was being shown, and I never wanted to expand on it. So like I knew every night that I had to pray before I went to sleep. So I did that, and that was about the extent of my prayer. My mom taught us like the basic scripture that everyone like grows up knowing, like the Lord is my shepherd, the Lord's Prayer, our Father who art in heaven. But that was about it. I never wanted to like dive deeper into that. So on to like high school. I'm gonna skip a couple years. On to high school. This is where everything started becoming very scarce for me. So prayer became scarce for me. I was a teenager. I had other things I was worried about, peers, fitting in, what I was going to do after high school. So like my faith was on the back burner. I really didn't go to church as often as I did when I was younger. Church became optional for us. So instead of my mom saying, hey, wake up, it's time to go to church, it was more like, hey, are you coming to church with me today? And being a teenager, wanting to sleep in on the weekends, a lot of times I would be like, I'm gonna skip out this weekend. So church definitely was like optional for me. Again, prayer became scarce for me. I was rarely praying. I was more so focused on like what my friends were doing. I will say I was not the teen that would like party. I did not drink when I was a teenager. None of that really interests me. I was kind of more of like a studious teen. So I was like more so focused on like what I was going to do after college, where I was going to go. But that also was a problem because I was focused on more so like where my friends were going. Like, what is this person going to do after they graduate college? I need to be more on top of my stuff. School became kind of like more top priority for me, and my friends became top priority, and God was not top priority. I probably didn't start really like venturing out and like partying, I guess, until like senior year. And by then, by senior year, God was not in my rearview mirror at all. He wasn't in my front view mirror either. It was really just a time in my life where like faith just wasn't even a priority for me. So after high school, I went away to college. College was definitely the time where I was furthest away from God. I didn't have most freedom that a lot of teenagers have growing up, I guess. My parents weren't strict, but they definitely did not play. So I wasn't able to like go out like at night, stay out at night. That's why I never really partied, because I never was really able to. So college was my time of freedom. College was the time where I was dabbling in drinking for the first time. I was smoking like hookah. I was going to clubs for the first time. I was going to parties for the first time. This was the time where like God was definitely the furthest from me. Probably looking back now, I feel it and I felt it. But like during, I could care less really about my faith. I really used God as an accessory back then. Like I would walk around being like, oh, I'm Christian. Yeah, I believe in God. Or I'll post like something on social media. Guys, social media, we'll get into that. But like I'll post something on social media, like a scripture. I'll be like, it's the Lord's Day on Sunday, and show myself listening to like a gospel song. But it was really bad. I can just say it was bad. This was a time where social media was really becoming like in the forefront for me, like becoming an idol for me. It probably still wasn't as bad as my after college experience, but definitely social media was like in the forefront for me. This was also the time where I was starting to want to seek more validation from men, from guys. You know, I was away from my parents. I really wasn't allowed to date in high school. So this was the time, like I said, where my freedom just like took over. I started getting on dating apps. You know, I was on Tinder, Bumble, Hinge, you name it. Like I was on dating apps, and I was really like seeking that validation from guys. I wanted to be called pretty. I wanted boys to see me. I wanted to be like, oh my gosh, this girl is so pretty, let me talk to her. Like I wanted to talk to boys. Really, I just wanted to flirt, really, because honestly I never really went on dates even back then. Like, I wanted to hear like compliments from men. I also, during this time of my college life, this is when I started being introduced to other religions. So I took like an introduction to like religion class, I think, and this is where you learned about religions on the West, religions in the East. I started becoming like fascinated with these religions, and this is where I really started to doubt Christianity, in a sense where I was like, wow, all these other religions believe in all these other things. Who's to say that we're right? Who's to say that Christianity is right? So I started really having that doubt and that interest of like, what does this religion believe? Well, what does this religion believe? And then I was like, well, no religion's right. And I was like, the Bible is a metaphor. It really was bad. This was a time that I was just furthest away from God. Like I was not praying at all. I was just so distracted by everything that was going on around me. The freedom I had was causing a lot of distraction for me. Again, I was like drinking for the first time. I was smoking hookah for the first time. So all these things were taking precedent over my life before God was. And then there came a time where I graduated college and I came back and moved home with my family. And this is kind of where I was starting to build back up my relationship with God. So this was the time during where like COVID first started. My dad and my sister both had jobs that they went to. And then my mom stayed at home and she was working from home because her company sent her home. And I was at home, and this was where I was kind of like looking for jobs, trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my career. I graduated with a mass media degree specified in journalism. So like, in Missouri, that's really hard to come by. But so this was a time where I was just like trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my life, and me and my mom were spending a lot of time together. My mom has always been that person in my life who always like had a relationship with God. She was the one that in my life kind of had the steady relationship with God. I mean, she definitely, like, I'll get to that later, but like she was the one who I saw in my life always trying to practice her faith and just be in her faith. So me and my mom started spending more time together, and you know, we started talking about God more. I started slowly coming back to like praying. I went back to like praying every night, I think, and just being more interested in the Bible. Church was now online, so my mom, every Sunday we would watch church, and I would come out and watch it with her. Some Sundays I skipped, but I would try to watch church with her every Sunday. And we have this ongoing joke in my family where we tell my mom we're like, church all day today, huh? Because she would literally all day Sunday, it would just be some form of church happening in my house. So Sunday I would like watch church with my mom, and then during Christmas, I think it was that Christmas, she bought me and my sister our first Bibles. It's somewhere over here, I don't know where it's at, but she bought me and my sister our first Bibles. That kind of was where like I started getting a little bit more interested. However, I would not have had opened that Bible until I've opened the Bible, but I would not have read the Bible until like a couple of months ago for me. But so yeah, she bought us her first Bibles, and like I was like really like getting into my faith a little bit more. And then I was blessed with a job opportunity, my first like real job, I called it. This kind of, me and my mom were spending a little bit less time together, but we were still like, I still was living in her house, so we were still spending time together. But I would now go out for work. I started becoming like happy, and I didn't realize how unhappy I was actually until a couple of months ago. I didn't realize like how sad I was, and I'll get to that. But so this was my first job opportunity, so it was really cool. I met this group of friends at my job. You know, it was just a really good place. I feel like I was in a really good place socially, because I still was this is where I really started like idolizing social media, guys. When I tell you, I was on social media 24/7, like I'm talking every form. I'm talking Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. I don't know if TikTok was that popular back then, but if it was, I was on TikTok. All of it, like it was bad. The first thing I do in the morning, before giving praise to God, before thanking God for waking me up, before any of that, I don't even think I did that in the morning, but the first thing I would do in the morning is check all my social media apps. So I would open up Instagram, see what's going on, open up Facebook, see what was going on, open up Twitter, see what was going on, TikTok, spend hours on TikTok. Like it was bad. And guys, I was like the definition of vanity. I'm telling you, like I just recently went through and deleted like a bunch of photos from like my phone that were saved from like Snapchat or Instagram. And I cannot tell you how many pictures I had on my phone that were just me staring at myself in the camera, or me just looking at myself and trying to be what I saw on social media. Unhappiest time of my life. Like I'm telling you, in that sense, I was very unhappy. Social media definitely was like an idol for me. I was obsessed with all like secular entertainment. I'm talking all the women rappers, Cardi B, Megan, Nicki Minaj, Chris Brown. I just, that's what I listened to. That's what I was filling my spirit with morning, day, and night. Like when they say be careful what you feed into your soul, that is something that you really need to be careful with, because I did not realize it, but now that I have moved away from all of that stuff, I can see how much that affected me and how much I wanted to be like what I saw like in entertainment or on social media. Like I was idolizing relationships. I was idolizing like women's lives that I wanted to actively live out. Like it was bad. All this stuff came before God in my life. Even though I was starting to come back to him, it still was like this thing that like here was God and here was social media. And every time God would move up a little, it's like, oh, but social media. After this job, I was at this job for about a year, and I realized I wanted to start looking for jobs that were like more so in my field of what I graduated from, so media. So I ended up getting a call from I'll just say it was a media job. I ended up getting a call for a media job, and I went through the process of like interviewing, and I ended up getting the job. And I was super ecstatic because I was like, oh my gosh, this couldn't be anything but God, you know, this was all him. Because I was praying. I was praying for like a job opportunity that could kickstart my career. I was praying for a relationship, guys, because like I said, I was idolizing these relationships that I was seeing. So I was praying for like a man. It's really embarrassing, but I was praying for all these things. Also during this time, me and my sister were looking into moving out of my parents' house for the first time in our lives. So I was praying for a job, a relationship, and a new place to live. Me and my sister found a place to live. Like it was our first time moving out, and we found a place to live. And then right after that, I got the job for the media position. So these two things were going on in my life, and I was like, literally, but God. It was only God, because I'm talking back to back, guys. And then I was still on dating apps. So I ended up getting into a relationship shortly after both of these things happened. So the top 3 things that I said I was praying for from God were the top 3 things that I ended up getting. So literally, you couldn't tell me anything. I was like, God, I am in his favor. Like, nobody else can touch me. Like, I'm like, these 3 things that I'm praying for are these 3 things that I got, and everything's going great in my life, right? Okay, well, we're going to fast forward a couple of months. So a couple of months, I'm not even going to say a couple of months. Things were going good for like 11 months, because things were going good for like 11 months. And then here's when everything started to hit the fan. I ended up hating the job that I was in. This media job that I wanted so badly, I ended up hating it because I was just not in a place where I felt comfortable. My work schedule was terrible. It was 5 a.m. to 1 p.m. and I worked Friday through Tuesday. So I had to work Saturday and Sunday. So those times that I was able to go to church, I could not go to church. Again, guys, this stuff that was affecting me for those 11 months, I did not realize it until a couple of months ago, how much it affected me. I wasn't able to go to church. I wasn't really able to have a social life because I had to be up at 3 a.m. in order to get to work at 5 a.m. And then I got off at 1 p.m. So I got off at a time during where everyone else was still at work. And therefore, no one was able to do anything. And then I had to be in bed by like 7 p.m. So when people were off and doing stuff, I could not participate because I had to go to sleep. I also worked Saturday and Sunday, which is everyone's typical weekend. My Saturday and Sunday was Wednesday and Thursday. So that's the smack dab middle of the week. Nobody was able to do anything with me. So it really just was like a sad time in my life that I did not realize how sad I was. Because I also had this relationship that I was in, this was my first relationship. This was my first boyfriend. So obviously I was like smitten. But it came like close to when I started hating my job that I was at, this relationship ended for me. So now 2 things that I valued most, they both started for me. During this time, me and my sister were looking for a new place to live because our first place was just not working out anymore. It was just super far from where I worked. We just didn't really care for it that much. So there's the 3rd thing that was not as great as I thought it was. Everything in my life kind of was just this turning point for me where I realized I was not happy. Guys, this season, because I'm still kind of in the season, I am in the season still. Some things have happened since then and I'll get there, but I still am in the season. This season was the hardest season of my life. It was just filled with so much pain, so much hurt. I was just sad a lot of the times. After losing everything I thought was so great in my life, I was like, what else do I have, you know? And that's when Jesus became my best friend. That Bible that my mom got us a couple of Christmases ago, I finally opened it and I finally just started a Bible plan on the Bible app, and I just started reading through the Old Testament for the first time in my whole entire life by myself. I was learning about God. I was learning firsthand what God did. I was learning firsthand who God is. And I was taking that and I was applying it to my faith. I started also recently reading the New Testament. So not only am I getting this foundation in the Old Testament, but I'm learning about Jesus. I'm learning about why I'm Christian, what I value, how I should be walking in life, what I should be doing. I think that was like the turning point for me where I was like, Kelsee, you got to get your life together. You know, you got to get back into God. Like, for the first time, this was something that was like eye-opening for me. So then during this kind of turning period, this new season where I was having all of this pain, I started shifting away. Because before then, I was still obsessed with social media. secular entertainment was still my top priority. While I was shifting into this new season of my life, I was letting go of everything that I was feeding into my soul that didn't have anything to do with God. So I was letting go of TV shows I was watching, guys, and I was watching all the TV shows, okay? I was watching P-Valley, I was watching, I don't know, there's a list of them, but I was watching all the shows. I let go of music in my life that wasn't really filling my soul or doing anything for me, you know. I also stopped cursing so much. I had the biggest potty mouth, and I just started turning my attention towards God, because obviously, you know, everything that I thought I had going on for myself, everything that he gave me to begin with, I realized it was not because of me. That wasn't the reason why I got it. Like, I didn't get that job, I didn't get that relationship, I didn't get that apartment because of anything I did. That was all God. And I think that when he started shifting me into this new season of pain and like hurt is where I started realizing nothing you're doing is because of you. Stop. Like, I started having these like new age beliefs that were like, you are your own God. Like, everything you have is because you have manifested it in your life. It's because you went out there and got it for yourself. Everything is because of you. Like, I started having these beliefs in my head. And I think God was like, all right, let me shake some tables, because this girl is clearly so off that I need to grab her attention. So I'm saying, like, when he pulled me into this new season, it hurt. It was not easy. I cannot say it was all sunshine and rainbows like a lot of people feel. It hurt. And I was not ready to be pulled into this new season, but I did not have a choice. But I will say, now I am like, I feel like I am in the best part of my life. Like, right now, I don't know, I'm only 25, you know, I can say that and that not be true. I'm so young, but I feel like not only am I happy, but I'm holy, and I'm trying to be holy. People think that when you let go of the world, you're letting go of all the fun that you have in your life, and that is not true. I will say also, as I've been pulled into this new season of my life, I've also been pulled into isolation. I feel like the friends I had and the friends I met along the way, I just wasn't fitting in with anymore. I felt like I was like the party pooper. I feel like God slowly started isolating me and putting me into like my own place, where he was like, work on yourself, work on your relationship with me, work on all of this before you go out and get this. I'm learning that that's okay. That's okay. So yeah, I'm in the season of my life now where I'm just like learning about myself. Like I said, that was very painful. It was very painful. But I think what God was teaching me was like, you're not ready to have all of this yet, because your foundation is not in me, but it's in yourself. And that hit hard. That hit real hard. I ended up going on like a 2-month social media break. I literally just deleted all the social media apps off my phone while I was going through this process, because I didn't want to be distracted by the world anymore. I actually just recently came back to Instagram, and that's where I've just kind of been sharing those videos that I was talking about in the beginning about my faith and my journey with God. And yeah, when I came back to Instagram, I literally unfollowed the Shade Room. I unfollowed every single celebrity. I did not want to see anybody that I did not know personally. I'll give you a little update of where I am now. Since then, I have gotten a new job, Monday through Friday, normal work hours. I absolutely love it right now. It has allowed me to have the freedom, like on the weekends, the freedom to worship God. Also the freedom to just worship him throughout the whole week, you know. Even like at that old job, the other media job, I just was not able to really get into God because I was either tired or I was just working fast paced all the time. So now I've had this like freedom to actually be in my faith, and that has been the best part. We moved, me and my sister found a great apartment, one that's closer to both of our jobs. So everything that I thought that I had prior to this season, that was so great and so wonderful and no one can stop me, and most of it was because of me, like none of that was great. And I was like definitely at the saddest point in my life. I am now starting to be like genuinely happier. I genuinely feel peace in my heart. You know, I'm still working. I'm not perfect. I am still working on things, and I definitely slip up sometimes. Like I said, I am a Gen Zer in this world filled with technology and all of these like societal pressures that we feel. Like, I do like sometimes get distracted, but I always remember like where I was and how I don't want to go back there. And that's when I just open my Bible, or I'll like open the Bible app and I'll just get in my word, turn on my gospel music, sit in peace and like wait to listen to God. Those are the things that I have to remember to do, because it is so hard to keep going forward when everything behind you looks so appealing. I made it through the whole thing without crying. That's a first. But yeah, guys, it's not easy. Jesus is with us every step of the way. With the help of him, if we remember that, we can do it. I am still a work in progress, but God pushed me to take those first steps into turning away from the world and turning to him. Yeah, that's my testimony. That's my journey. I really appreciate you for listening, taking the time out and listening to this. And I hope it resonates with someone. I hope this can show you that you are not alone. God is with you. I'm with you. I'm going through everything with you. And that it's important to remember that God comes first. I don't know how to end this. This is YouTube. This is not Instagram. Normally I'm like, okay, bye. So yeah, thanks for watching. I'll probably make more videos. This is kind of fun. More videos on like how it is, what I do, how God saved me as a Gen Z Christian. I feel like there's a lot of us out there, but there's not a lot of us out there. And it's definitely good to see other people going through what we're going through. So I appreciate you for watching. Thank you very much. Bye.